Hi everyone, today we'll be sharing two creepy Slender Man stories from Reddit that may give you the chills. If you're interested in dark and mysterious stories, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all notification buttons to stay updated on all our latest videos. Let's get started. 2 days ago, it was another late night at my job as an internet sales coordinator for a large car dealership. I don't have a car, so I always get rides from my co-workers or my boss, who all treat me like their little brother. The usual late customer stays until it's past closing, and we're able to leave when they finally finish negotiating and started signing. My boss always takes the same route home, driving by my old elementary school, which is off of the main road on an underlit side street. The school has been abandoned for some time, and there's overgrown grass and vines crawling up the face of the school. It's a small building, maybe the length of a football field, and it was 2 stories high. To the right of the building is a parking area. It leads around to the back, and the space was mainly used for play during recess. As recent as a few days ago, there has been some sort of construction work on the area behind the school. This past Monday, when we drove by, I caught a glimpse of a large hill of dug up dirt and some orange construction flags about 50 feet away from the road we were on. Under an eerie orange tinted street light that was behind the school, I saw on top of this dirt was some sort of malnourished looking figure wearing a long sleeve shirt and black pants that was rolled up. Immediately, I rationalized that it was a scarecrow because it stood completely frozen. 2 wooden pegs stood where the legs would be, and the arms were held partially outward but dead still. It was facing towards me, and where the head would be, I could see a blank, lighter colored space. I immediately thought of Slender Man. I thought it was quite odd that there would be a scarecrow on top of a pile of dirt behind an abandoned school, and I couldn't wrap my head around why. "Did you see that?" I said to my boss, paying attention to the road. He did not. I reached my house a few streets down and got ready to leave for the gym with the thought of the scarecrow figure still running in my head. I borrowed my sister's car as I normally did and decided that before I head to the gym, I would drive by to make sure whatever it was would still be standing there. I took out my phone as I left my house and started recording a video. I get back to the school with the camera still rolling, and I see that whatever the figure was, it had disappeared. I sped off, slightly freaked out, and figured I was probably just seeing things. I get back home from the gym and watch the video I had recorded. It begins at my house, down the street, around the corner, and a few turns to the school. The video gets to the point where I'm slowly pulling up beside to the school. But right as I'm about to see the pile of dirt and the scarecrow, the video cuts off randomly. The screen goes black and my phone spazzes for a second. I tried to watch it again with the same result. Was it a corrupted video file? This was really strange because I specifically remembered it was recording as I drove by because I was staring directly at the phone. I drove home, barely slept, and been thinking about it non-stop. Yesterday, I was able to use my sister's car during the day as she had carpooled with her husband. I was able to leave work as soon as the clock struck 9 because I wasn't relying on my boss to take me home. A block away from home, I thought I would try and take a video again of the school. I turned the car around and went towards the school. I started the video recording again, and everything was working normally as it did 2 nights ago. Behind the school, the dirt mound was significantly smaller than it was the first time. There was one person walking alone in almost complete darkness behind the school. The only light source again was the orange tinted street light partially covered by a tree. Still recording, I stopped the car in front of the school and examined the man closer. Not before locking my doors and rolling the windows up. He was a larger man, but not as tall, as he was hunched over more than 90 degrees, but not looking downwards. His skin was extremely pale, even in the orange light, and I could see the whiteness of his skin tone. He wore a dirty black trench coat, black pants, black boots, and what looked like a black top hat or fedora. The man was walking aimlessly and looking as if he was having some sort of mental breakdown. He was waving something around and hitting things, and I realized he was blind and he was waving around a walking stick. I figured I should help out considering he looked lost and confused. So I turned into the school's parking lot with my high beams pointed directly at the man. The camera was still going. He paused for a second, looked up towards my car, and stopped hunching over. Standing straight all of a sudden, He was over 6 feet tall. He stood like a deer in headlights, and the lights seemed to almost reflect off of his face, so I wasn't able to see details. Suddenly, he started sprinting full speed towards my car. I threw it in reverse as quickly as possible, turned back onto the road, stomped the pedal to the floor, and didn't dare look in my mirrors until I got home. At some point, I had thrown my phone that was recording the video onto the passenger seat and hadn't realized until I got home. I hit play on the video, and at the exact same spot that it had before in the previous video, it cuts to black and goes completely silent. I'll leave for work again in a few hours, and I'm going to drive by the school again. Once, it was about 1 in the morning, the three of us headed back up the room. Our other 3 friends were already up there and changed to go to sleep. Of course, we were all pretty young at the time. No one was above 21 years old, so we logically stayed up a while to talk. Our room was one of those annoying ones where you can't do anything to close the curtains, so they were wide open and some of us were just staring out the window while we talked. After we'd been talking a while, one friend said, "Hey, what's that in the window over there?" All of us sat up to look, but it was hard to see from the beds, so we ended up with all 6 of us crowded at the window, just staring across the way. Over there, it was another hotel, where there was this long line of windows. Most of the curtains there were closed, lights off, and so on. One window was different though. The curtain was wide open, and we could see a figure standing there. It looked like a guy, sort of swaying back and forth. I brought up that it reminded me of the scene in 1408, and was immediately ordered to shut up. So we kept watching, and the figure kept swaying. Someone mentioned Slender Man. They just kept on moving and swaying. I think we were all at the window for a good 15 or 20 minutes, and it just kept moving. I think everyone said at least one thing that it could have been. The worst of which was the idea that someone hanged themselves over there. Eventually, we all forced ourselves to go back and lay down, since we were all pretty creeped out at that point. Before we fell asleep, we mentioned how it would be even worse if it wasn't there the next night, because if it wasn't there anymore, well, what could it have been? If it was there still, it was just part of the hotel room. Once we got back to the room the next night, we checked the window across the way, and there was nothing there. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Drop a comment down below on what you think of this video. If you have other stories you wish for me to cover, leave a comment and a link for me to look deeper into it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. I'll see you in our next campfire stories. Thank you for watching.